is Kris and I live in the River Hills area of Burnsville. January 21, 2011 is my date. I now honor that as my alive date because I'm so lucky to be alive after a man T-boned me after falling asleep behind the wheel. Many others in this room and thousands of people in our state also have a date when their life changed in an instant. You never know when you could be upended by medical or accident-related disability, and this can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime. That's why it's so important that state laws protect our rights with simplicity and fairness. I speak for myself and for those who cannot speak or whom are too overwhelmed by the complexity of their new life. Disabilities are depressing, none of us want one, and we don't expect handouts either. We just want it to be treated fair so we have the opportunity to regain whatever independence in life that we can. Living with traumatic brain injuries requires a tremendous awareness of managing your surroundings. Personally, I'm impacted by overhead lights, excess stimulation, sensory overload, and multiple sounds. When a couple of my triggers are affecting me simultaneously, it renders my ability to concentrate, perform cognitively, and my anxiety and fatigue can overwhelm me. What used to be common everyday activities for me are now approached cautiously with compensation techniques, or I just don't do a lot of things at all. There's a difference between the old me and the new me because living with a disability changes your identity, lifestyle, and tolerance levels. So if everyday life is harder when you have a disability, it makes sense that complicated insurance forms and program regulations can be mentally overwhelming. This is just a small amount, 8 pounds of paperwork that I did, just representing a small amount of the paperwork to get my insurance benefits. Getting and keeping the benefits I was entitled to was like a job because there were so many processes to manage and respond to over a 3-year period. These issues never left my mind because they created so much stress and uncertainty, while my main focus needed to be on rehab therapies, rest, surgeries, and just relearning how to think and drive and be out in the world again. It takes a lot of energy when you're living in the headspace of uncertainty and not knowing what your future would look like. That's why I advocate for simplicity and fairness. Insurance paperwork and requirements can be very tricky. One wrong move could devastate your medical and financial stability. I'm happy to share with the help of my attorney and his peers and Representative Mason, Atkins, Schumacher, and Lunan, a new law goes into effect January 1, 2016, which makes it easier for individuals to attain and retain their disability benefits and certain policies. For my peers in the room, if you have long-term disability policies you're entitled to, it will be easier in 2016. And if anyone wants to speak to me about this and get my support, I'm happy to help out. For our senators and state reps, if there is pushback from the insurance companies, which we know there may be, please continue to keep this law in place. It holds insurance companies accountable for fair contractual language, and insurance companies have profited over the misfortune of some claimants for way too long, and it's time that legitimate cases get fair treatment. On a similar note, medical assistance has complicated processes for the claimant, providers, and the state. People with disabilities are forced to live in deep poverty before they can get access to the medical services they need. Last session there was a slight change, and we thank you for that. This session we propose that the spend-out income limit be raised to 100%, which is equivalent to poverty level, and that the asset limit is raised to $10,000, so people have a cushion for life emergencies. These changes promote simplification as it matches the qualifications of other programs, and it's simply the right thing to do to support individuals with disabilities retaining their independence. So please support the funding of MA reform through the passage of a supplemental budget bill in 2016. Individuals with acquired or traumatic brain injuries like we have in the room here have enough brain fog as it is while we're trying to deal with all this paperwork. So please keep in mind that simplification and fairness in programs helps us get back on our feet sooner and less dependent. And thank you for your attention, time, and compassion for our concerns here today.